94.7 Asempa FM Sony Ekosi saying Jumedi and Wasugusu Awuti 26 minutes after 4. Before Siebeko break near Dr. Gideon Boako Aide and Komo na homano etekoi unfortunately. But we are raising him back on the line na yenena twaso and we ansana ya call into a discussion segment edede ebeko so abremo inti and Sabeka, 2 former MPs studio ha, all of them from the Greater Accra region. Baako a regional executive as we speak. Baako so pre so babe national executive. Enti Honorable Theophilus Tetechai abekansa ewa asanso ena ye hwe nim ze Daniel ni kwata titles Glover. Enso babe kan ye ho. Na afi yene won etumi edin ko. But do we have Gideon Boako back on the line? Sir Yensaka Gideon yene no ebewie yen komo no na afei yahwe etumi atoa so ekosi sen so ni ehaya asempa 94.7 FM. We say Obi, politics has become cheap in Africa. So the opposition will come out and be accusing this current administration that has performed very well amidst COVID. Tell me, if your family is sick and you have borrowed in treating them, definitely after the illness, you would surely suffer to pay, which is the case of Ghana today. The NDC doesn't have the moral right to talk about Ghana's situation. Looking at what happened to them in 2014, William Sangmo or Kaikwe South. And what do we have? Doc, when you're fighting a homano ethical, I can't want to go as some so I will come pacho.
Yeah, it will be the American. To say, oh, Abusium. Na, if I saw some see Abusium, na open a na branch na be a bonnet. Oh, could you mean some ha? Could you mean some by ya? Let's just say, Nipano. Abusia and no man for a would you mapper, a winemo. Na, Omubun, so say. What not to assemble here, a bit to me and all the genuine cause, Vice President Bawumia, or share na Braba Wabo, soon when I was here, the Juma Waye, Bank of Ghana, and the IMF, Lenin Cronibam, Africa Development Bank, almost a basic assembly to any economy, somewhat there. Muye de na yesofre na nyankopon nam no so betia BBSC dia yeniso.
Yeah, but on the contrary, no, on the contrary, Doc. On the contrary, no, say Utie former President Mahama call no a year. He is rather saying, say, your boss has spectacularly mismanaged the economy. And until we're Jania on Kasa Emma Ubi. And for example, Kasa, we currently have daily price increases, fuel price adjustment, and nose-diving currency, which has rather arrested the person who said he had arrested it. The dollar has rather arrested him, Dr. Bawumia, and so we are looking for him. We cannot find him. I asked the IGP if he had the key that was used to lock the currency so that we could find where our vice president was. But he said he doesn't have it and doesn't know his whereabouts. In clearly, I know person say, "Oh boss, nye ejuma papa about managing the economy."
Only Mobi. Si hono kakra mesia free nipa mukasa ane badwa mukasa ne ejuma ne ane se question bi say ba na mede nipa or can someone esi mani so to say be area Mahama si mani so na me susu se ne a osika ne nsem sa na ese me yi ano a ahwa me kan sem bi wi ase no obi tinchan kro be kan se oh abranti omuade ana onim de oka ntimpimpi no aya me person me yi personality so esi nchen na me address issues so essence I know what I want to talk about. I mean in the essence me kabe magana for who say I'm passing the abofra ya na sabanti ya okase onimude na obu ade nso ano na Ghana for at the end of the day enye insu a edi begina yanum akasa champion for to say you are for scratch bekasa as a Bawumia onim dia oye na nam no oye no ma ehun hia na ade so be predia so zipline ade ameka che ode and noise enya ade ehun hia and to say na mahama oye vice president na nam na de oye na so commission to let me other things and I want to address the issues ade na yeka ho asem say de yeka ho asem say na say o my Ghana the chef and the normal secret obuse your maya yet ho dada no enye se ye ho aso ye ho so ana se Ghana ni bia to nsa hwewi ma onya sika ana so de nsa to no botuma nsa sika so ye boy ho modede na nso ye we sinto bebre abanya ko ehwe obitima ye ntotoye na no mabitima kuyi de amagana fu ya ho kire mu nyina sabe ayese otubo bobra na obronsam ehu mobo ekodru ba bia na asa aho kire foforo bi nso asa ba be kan na amma kakra na ewo ye nso no asa amwa peja ekosoro kakra abasa oye aban ho nipa na aban mo mpanifo I was at Mushokani Abu Betinia Faso. The Abbas is here. Ubit my brass here, Kakra. Na and no ensign boom for a man for no so. I'm a man and say, Sia Lumuna, your was a sia. And him say, Mampania Kufado are buying by a free 2017. Modern more as I buy a ball. At Tonoma. More man for us to etimi tumpon or more nanka school fees to ya or dajene abaya shakano befa so beso no kakra the free senior high school or more na juma sem yo mo dajene abaya shakano was so beso no kakra or no more almost school krum allowance yo mo dajene or more school tade yo mo dajene or more sabe ayare sabia and all aspects of the economy. Na the abayi no nyina no dene a ho check akran so ebi ewo nipa bi so nyina anyepe ebi de wo soro pa ebi de adantem ebi de ofo na ntanya mesi en kanokre na wiase ne Ghana fo nyina hu ni sɛnea ɔman na esiti bia yura akufo adoba beto no sɛnea yura mahama no de gyae no de no mo betumi ɛna ɔmo yɛ kodruye yura akufo adon na ban so bae ɔmo so bɔ modern na Ghana ni bia ho visible signs sɛ na improvement eba of all the economic indicators and the other living standard service now is a kakra improvement ko you could see 2020 mo you who send your COVID some is by na ama enoma mu ya den kakra ni nyina echi no modern man na say you rekufo adobo na gains kakra onya ye free 2017 basi 2019 ko ma sika kakra na watima kra de ato odibitor so eche Ghana for odibitor enyama hoden kanea eche Ghana for odibitor aduane eche Ghana for odibu ya akatua muntumu ama head professionals odibu ya sikamu siachiba adema other businesses and small enterprises odibi bo modern ehwe se ahoche no nyina no Ghana for then short degree a wada ohwe se ahoche no nyina no yennesum ohwese ahoche no mu nyina no nka se yi obi adi ewa adwuma mu ana ya mfa nipa ewa adwuma mu ohwese ahoche no mu nyina no enkosida se yese bosom bi aso Ghana ne adwuma ye ne akatia yetimi ntua saa modemo no nyina aban eboye ehwe yesikai ene amana no de na ho de modern anase sa aban boye ama ohwe 2020 the exchange rate depreciation was around 30% thereabout. Last year was around 4% there. Which is a modern power mapade. Na iwekufado abayo abubi. Na no so interest na Ghana ya hao nyina ko. Na ibisi afia ya 2023. Ana yehu se and no makakra bi asankae. Ɛyɛ aban budget a ɔde kɔ ɔmahyɛ bɛdehwe na akɔyɛ twema me ntwe kakra. Ehu sɛ ho uncertainties ne nkɔ ne ba ɛbɛn mu. Ɛnyɛ na no yɛ Supreme Court rule yɛ kora na ayɛ sɛ budget no sɛ yɛagye atom anaa yɛnyi ntom. Obi nhyɛ dɛ ho anim yi mahyɛ bagyafoɔ kumamufoɔ sɛ yɛnyi ntom. Panimfoɔ sɛ yɛagye atom. Aban major policy to say e-levy, bema revenue aba. Up to now, it's in Musani Sikro. Now, so COVID, how in action, yes, I won't say Russia and the Ukraine front to cancel. Crude oil prices, I shall say echo so. It is also the main issue. A lot of price hikes and you can crab system on exchange rate development. I will share exchange rate on something about the fan around 4 point something. Now within 4 years, I could drew 6 point something to say 2 cities and a can about also. Like I then I buy our team bono mode. I saw you see can I hold them. A cremusa ama itimenya depreciation of less than 5%, 3% in 2020, 4% in 2019. Now, between February and as a middle of January to March, now you pay a cost 7 point something. A chair was a BB and a course. Now, we are buying. Now, sir, at renting and I have answered, oh, you need to be bought usika, precopesana. Sabio, Mr. Mecca. Aho Brazil, and your Casatente and top of go. A bambia and a need that form. Not only dear oil, not opposite or mass solution to an immediate problem. A bar, yam be prayer and facasa, and it did be in Titian Crofaso. Snampany Funyan Simon, or Mobu Besse, in Yan Cranimo, and Pitin Crane. Tis a one now, no do baby. Nan can air through be bra. Yes, we are, say, open baby and can ni, no jina. Now, what 20 years baby and can anyone. Don't was no montem, a ye, what shall say, apropos, what I see, a young penny casa. In the midst of such disturbance to your currency, you don't create noise. That one is on the exchange rate market. Noise, any information, and you're critical. Unless otherwise, who understand the economics of the exchange rate market. There's our share. Oh, at the end of the year, anti precope. Sika nankayetini aboya homode, a cremudie, or muse, no queni, a hana na hode, a coffin kakanka cade. Into the year media, a precope. I am bisa. Abaya or you serious, you get to the drawing board, put all your technical team together, and we'll think it through. At the end of the year, okay, you have no problem, no. Kwamben ye befaswa, ye beswano. O babe kasano. As I say, okasa with reasons, okasa with solutions. I'll be real. The Ghana niba bitiwa, when you wish him was ampa. Then if what you say, or more in the echo. No more proper solutions to that. That is the exercise.
In the meaning, sir, Yen share him said the Vice President Bekasa.
Oh, Obi, so when him say Vice President Bawumia. Kasa de what the funny feature not just a fufu na tonko. Na enye say Obi na wakasa kaka any time or person or kasa bia. Na Obi mamenka we so ayemani so say ever since I'm a home company a bit na me adwuma maano na me ya chance say be kasamano Senegal for money na money. There is not a single day our vice president addressing the nation on a major platform ayen in Gosiada. Anytime there is an issue, I Ghana for a call for say Bawumia kisusa Bawumia kasa ebebo a wabeka sa biano. Oria Ghana food nyina tin hu say I'm dead. named before Akasa. Now, yeah, this also say anytime a vice president announces or person or Kasa on a national platform, you virtually get the whole of Ghana listening to him. Obubakaya 2019, first quarter of 2019, you have similar disturbance to the exchange rate market. That was prior to the IMF program. Now the uncertainty surrounding the fact that Ghana, you bit me a free and I say in free what are the implications near there? And also some short-term jittery and disturbance on the foreign exchange market. To Ghana, Bekaya, between middle of January to end first week of April, was the exchange rate, let's see, a drop here and a drop.
Yes.
That is why Sabreno, on the 3rd of April, Vice President LED, the first ever town hall meeting by the economic management team.
I remember.
That town hall meeting by the economic management team, Vice President, it was Vice President Kasai, and import duties by 50% for some goods and 30% for cars. The Vice President Chimo, they're not happy to the exchange rate market. And our solution are buying a Diego Kwansebeba. Obi, the Queen, right from the day now Vice President Kasai, a one free fall of the city, stop here. It tells you, before all Babe Kasano, now a buy at fee. At a share normal, at a two normal, I will say, yes, this year, and a beba into a carbon to know the cotuja and never my solution. The end day, Vice President did bring another orchestra. It is out of deep thinking. A transit journey, normal planning, no matter year, and Sana Yaya. In 2019, that was April. Last year, the town hall at the Ashesi University on digital economy. Vice President Kasavi on digital economy. Ghana for say indeed, the man knows his onions. And it is not in a rush. Now, Vice Presidents also consistently your barber. Maybe obi no are making statements beside. So be share or no man penny the edge. My president state of the nation address we now or presented how the economy goes now. So they acquire senior and now obo my person the work on the new item. The almost a share more. Now 2019 the president delivered a state of the nation address via that the vice president also came in to talk. Like I say, opinion be quite. Ama akasa wie ama watoto se na economy ni city no no money na. The man did the tree as to timi sidum na waka de waka. Me na waka say aban I had discussions with at Bobo current situation a year the increase in the crude oil prices are ever saying because exchange rate is kind. Admittedly, there could be other factors contribute to the exchange rate losses. But ABA me nubi meeting the marginable a cost can see about a year. Ukraine and then Russia and Turkey. Now, ama crude oil prices apeja ekosoro. One say union micro petrol debate almost subsidies and almost the akwakoto petrol. To preocupa oil price shoot to equal beyond 100. So if sikadodo says almost at the $1 at petrol no akosoro. The next is ama dollar no akwacho kakra sabri tie mo. It's a big problem. Sikano, quite shows na ni jaba na ni boy there.
Yeah, but the NDC's argument has been say when your first time crude oil bono akosrosa at a point you hit $130, you $147 than there, but this harsh effect on the strength of the city. Said you maybe there's something underlying in ama ye who said ye who sees here. And not just
that is not true. But let me build the case here. That is not true. We'll come to that. It's not me mao. I'm not saying in stricto sense. crude oil price and Uncle and I'm perform. Having said that, and don't quote me on that, I'm saying that other factors may have contributed, but maybe I know your analysis on the economy. You look at the key factors. Now, I share the other fringe factors. And so, obeying how manage the economy, na crude oil, a biggest and as integral part of the economic management. Na prekupe ne bo ashitu akosoro abro 100 implementing sa na on suffer the effect thereof. You suffer that. They are not a kahubi. And we can simply learn so. And sometimes people may want to downplay it. Exchange rate market, investors need players now. They rely on market sentiments and they are taking certain rational decisions. Investor beer or investment our country be more. Now, Obohu say a buying and reading a budget. I also a buying number with the fee for a G2. Now, Chiman should be a doctor romance with the fee. I don't know uncertainty be around budget now. Say a bit to me a pass it and I see to me pass it because any kind of investment not a home by the money. It's highly dependent on the government's budget and the government fiscals. It is a government fiscal. If at any point in time there is doubt on the government budget, the budget to an iron to major revenue handle of government is a e-levy. The budget to an iron to every single investor, our investment was our country become jittery. On top of that, we take comments be from high profile people about coup in the country. So a bit my cool, I share a cool bit mercy. Every investor on percent can be one maya so you buy another take over because automatically only suska. And you don't take all these information for granted. Because on maya you want informationally efficient market crowd. Say your cafe or penny pay or mamma what the donor crown it has impact on the economy. And Tina also you can hear that the royal family when Elizabeth no more royal family issues ba now omo pekwan bi so kra no nanka omo de see kakra because even if there's an issue in the royal family it will impact on the stock market, it will impact on the exchange rate market. There's no doubt that the uncertainty about government budget approval and the chairman choka across parliament and the coup d'etat push a lot of investors to also fear for their investment. Some of them started taking off their investment like as a flight to safety.
But the budget was approved long ago.
The budget, and to say Supreme Court already ruling by who was setting the budget here approved. When you have a budget, majority force your approval, minority force your approval here, had to go to court for the Supreme Court to determine on the approval of the budget. Everybody will be uncertain about it. Let's not joke with that. That is economics and how investors react to news. News impact analysis on the economy, sir. One of the greatest things economists crash about from uncertainty, volatility, and it's how uncertainty is anomaly. It has its own contribution. And Tina make a say, what should they wear? See, no, na abaya managing on less than 5% depreciation for the whole of 2021. Argentina, from middle of January to now, around 40% depreciation. If the whole of last year, just 5% depreciation, it tells you something has happened within this short period. A year major concern. Now, and non basana, behavioral issues and exogenous factors. Obisa will deal with economic management issues. Now issues now, as I said, or handle the borders on behavior of other people for which you can hardly control. You have to be very careful in addressing the matter. And yet, because any statement you make, so prepare now we are president, we are vice president, we are finance minister of such economy. Our people are taking behavioral decisions are impacted on your currency, you ought to be extremely careful what you say. You have to be certain. Said the all can and exacerbate problem no and another behavioral reaction and negative against it. So that is basically what we have been doing. And also the now you will say we needed to provide certain policy direction. You're dealing with the problem of the foreign investors and also dealing with the problem of the crude oil prices. It's one of the issues. And I thank God, it's the Bank of Ghana. So this issue, it seems very well with the government thinking. So we increase monetary policy rates now. And then some comfort be to foreign investors nanka musika because of certain level of uncertainties, And we say no. Since you cannot acquire risk factors any BBR, near share 250 or 2.5% increase in the policy rate now. You bit ma roll over your investment, near Manaka, Ghana, and Chianco. Because the more much come, then you suffer from the rollover risk. And the Bank of Ghana, they are my year. Most of the investors are not moving to be binti, Komuyu or Musika, much risk factors, a woman with the other countries, on Beja, and on Benyasa additional percentage margins. Then they are comfortable to stay and then roll over. That's the kind of akaha. A basana, a my dollar stock, a costo. The moment I want more dollars, next, cities kakrebi, and a HAC dollar, na dollar, and also, and more inflation on the dollar and cost rosa. But when you price stability on the dollar, that is one other issue. Only COPEC for an Penifona or petrol sector and also Kasai. I'm also chair was a NURA, a buy share, and my Minister of Energy, and the Finance Minister, and no Mushia, a Boba, Jenekani or Mother Fasua. Increases on crude oil prices on bit my be no more mitigate. Na Emma one more petrol and crude oil sector and incur so much losses. Emma also emfa consistently can exchange rate na and also a boa. And mind you, the moment a Bank of Ghana policy stands, that bring certain level of stability on the exchange rate you save the losses one more crude oil sector thereby trickling down on the city's stability. And that is one, another two of the handles about taking action. Finance Minister, Senate Information Minister this week will speak and address some of the interventions about mention tie in with the Bank of Ghana there and the energy sector there. Any other structural changes and reviews about to say. Now, you mitigate the structural rigidities. You in key government programs you implement on you
for such historic announcements, I be dealing with structural changes near there. Shouldn't the head of the economic management team be the one addressing the country? Like time we lead the EMT, in that town hall meeting.
No, I'm coming. You see, we don't have a straight jacket formula.
Okay.
Depending on the situation, the government will lay out the communication plan on all matters. These structural issues, Finance Minister Beckham they border on the fiscals of the state. And Finance Minister or Kasa, you see the reason why Finance Minister and our addresses in that I think it's going to be that press conference or I'm not too sure about it. So when that is done, next week, the President of the nation also deliver the State of the Nation's address. And the President for the totality of the economy and its constitution deliver the usual State of the Nation address. The Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, will speak next month, April 2022, and also deal with the other substantive issues crowning all the arguments for Ghanaians to see, sir, right from the Bank of Ghana announcement, from the Minister of Finance's presentation to the President's State of the Nation address, Vice President Dr. Bawumia will speak next month, April 2022. Also, at a platform somewhere in Campus for you to see the government are rolling out a plan to deal with the issues. And I can tell you, in all of these presentations, right from what Bank of Ghana did yesterday in the MPC release, Finance Minister press conference and other engagements out there, President's State of the Nation address to the Vice President's address next month. Obi, when we finish, you will see, so indeed, and yet kasa keke, and then young people home keke. These are deep-minded people. Who said there's a huge responsibility on them. So Ghana for the 2 million monster. When there are issues, they have to think through it. They have to throw out a proper communication plan to deal with those issues. It will be these matters will be settled. It is not for Mr. Mahama and the NDC to tell us when A or B should speak. That one is for government to decide how we roll out our plan on each policy and each intervention at any point in time. And I can assure you, Sir Obi, with all due respect, in all humility, government will solve this matter. Or we'll see, sir, we've been able to deal with the fuel price increases. If it might deal with the exchange rate exposures, and not the to me, I bet net tracking down first and call prices on commodities on the market. Admittedly, or shares and we are seeing in Asiqua, Mama Boy, general videos and cassette, and Mama Boy, a full, and Ghana has a CML, Casa Ghana, Nibia, who be a could do, will be a tardy, in Hussein and Noma Isicro. And we are seeing issues. So we are America's inflation up there, and now US, Costco, Sam's Club. And then the Kaka Hondano, what means a cool guess, open no matter crowd, also they are more too much as a bit of tobacco pay, or call we as a bona, you say. And we are not saying so, say, because we are seeing now experiencing the same problem. No, young so young fire and share them reform. They are casting to me, your horse, that be. You bet to my home baby. To me, I'm planning for all these crunch meetings and making sure that you're the solution at the bar. The Ecosunyana and Obi, and it is same woman say, because of the superior competence and the commitment. Sometimes you can have the competence, but you may not have the commitment. Sometimes you can have the commitment, you cannot have the competence. Sometimes you may not have it in our ball to send a Johnson back. And we have seen it in other governments. Because of the commitment and the superior competence that you was a CNT. It will say, found one ball, I a day, and we're gamma so cost. And so you sound like a well. One more casa cho say, I see some more come to my baby. President Nelson time, not far all born will say, so not Ghana for your sunlight echo to well. President Mahama time, far all born uncle say, one more did this year, and so my sunlight to well, not Ghana for Kitesica. Not far on the boarding party, Pipiato, no, you bit truck drivers, no, when you been told. Taxi drivers, no munya binto. Private vehicle owners, no munya binto. Na yinya kanya mpo empower in engines ama ye so kanya nyama ode. Ma wo hwe sanya no masi kona ne bo ayedin nyina akiri no. Ghana ni bia answer lie enkoto fuel. It tells you say there is truly etikasebia area again people may not understand. Sanya no masi kona bo ayedin nyina akiri no. Ye nasumu. At the end of the day, found wire so I bind to me cattle found where power engines. My so can you not sumo. Now you're not sumo for 3 years and 4 years. If Mr. Mahama, if he said, or any better record to show, you should tell us. The NT not found born to say, and so now you're sumo Ghana. Now you're like a quarter found petrol and it is a cable. At the end of the day, it's to say there are teething problems and issues. But we are dealing with it to the best of our ability. We are dealing with it in a way you feel say it shows superior competence over and above the Mr. Mawa says with me. Anya Shekurano, no mammy, no Ghana need the necessary, but say the Krumu Ghana. The Ecoso and Nigeria almost satellite of our Ghana and satellite and petro.
Okay.
Ghana and Dubi and Kenya because and no man we are dealing with the issues. Be a the new hobby. Among quiet. They will respond to calls. They will respond to suggestions and an account in a systematic, orderly, and in a manner, if you say, that might yet to me achieve results. At the end of the day, the Ghana force share. Say a year Bank of Ghana, the Becca so. Say your finance minister, the Becca so. Say your Mampenny, the Becca so. Say your vice president, Bawumia, the Becca so. Now, solution, no way. People want results. And yet, kasa tente and topenko. We will speak. But I say, who want to speak, talk about, and how to talk about it. That is exactly what we are trying to do.
Inti the headliner made Sunday online for no Vice President Bawumia to speak on measures to deal with current economic crisis next month at a forum in Cape Coast. Correct?
The Vice President will speak next month at a forum in Cape Coast, and definitely economic issues will be lost on him.
He would deal with the measures, to tackle the current economic crisis, right?
Vice President will speak next month at Cape Coast to talk about issues bordering on the economy and other matters that he may deal right. But the economic issues will be key at the center stage.
in that space.
Exactly.
Very well. Gideon, my say from now till April, we would have another time to talk. Yeah, that's a power. Right?
Thank you very much, Obi.
Yeah, that's it. Dr. Gideon Boako, aide to the Vice President, and